Broadcasting to the world from South Jersey, this is Anything Goes with Phil Rossi and JJ Golick. A weekly podcast with different topics every week. The views and opinions on this show are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of any businesses or organizations mentioned during the show. And now, it's Anything Goes with Phil Rossi and JJ Golick.
Yo, what is going on? Welcome inside another episode of Anything Goes. My name is Phil Rossi alongside my partner in crime. That is JJ Golick. What's up, JJ?
That is me. What's up, Phil?
What's good?
You know.
Hanging in?
Yeah, so far.
All right, let's get right into it because we don't like the bullshit around here.
Yes, we do.
Today's topic, so according to the NewYorkPost.com, so take that for what it's worth, this 6-year-old racked up $16,000 on mom's credit card playing video games.
Shit. How do you rack that much up?
So the little guy is 6, and he racked up $16K. So 6-year-old, George Johnson, he racked up $16,000 in the Apple App Store for his favorite video game, which is Sonic Forces. You know about that?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so he left his poor mama in shock. So Jessica Johnson, 41, didn't realize the younger of her two sons had gone on a shopping spree on her iPad. Now, here's the thing. Now first thought is, where were you as the parent?
Yeah, and you know what? There's so many ways that you can put up notifications. Like, I know my credit card, if it goes above $30 a purchase, it will send me a text and email, and you'll think there's a bomb about to go off.
And then Hillary takes your credit card away?
Most cases, yeah, which is a good thing because, you know, I like to spend. But
good woman.
I'd be dead if I spent that much.
Yeah, that's
I don't
crazy.
even have that.
Well, I mean, he was buying Sonic rings. He's buying online boosters. Let's see. He withdrew a hefty sum here of $562 from her Chase account.
Nice.
She assumed it was a mistake.
Nope. That was your son.
All good. Now she was still clueless until her bill reached $16,000, which means she's got to have good credit because she has a pretty high credit card limit.
Yeah, really. Buy me a Christmas present, would you?
Now, here's the thing. Here's what Apple said, quote, they said, tough. They told me that because I didn't call within 6... That sounds nice, like real good customer service.
Yeah, right?
Hey, my son ran up $16,000 from your Apple store, and they're like...
That's your problem.
Tough. Sorry. They told me that because I didn't call within 60 days of the charges, they can't do anything. The reason I didn't call within 60 days is because Chase told me it was likely fraud, that PayPal and Apple.com are top fraud charges. Jessica got no sympathy from a customer service agent, even after confessing that she wouldn't be able to pay her family's mortgage. They're like, there's a setting you should have known.
Yes, you should have. Well, I don't know. What do you think about that? Because I feel like in today's, you should know, you should have those notifications on. You know, once your credit card gets to a certain amount, every credit card company has that the ability to send you a notification.
Right.
So, what the hell were you doing? And okay, you knew around $500-something. Did it say?
Right.
Okay. So why didn't you freeze the card, which would have stopped everything?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, to run up, to allow your card to get run up, whether it was the little boy or fraud. I mean, this is like this should be like huge alarms going off, not like a little notification. Like, listen, lady, your card just got ran up $16,000. So, and I know, like, I don't know, maybe people are different. For me personally, I feel like I'm checking my checking account and my credit cards at least once a day just to kind of see if there's late fees, extra charges, interest, whatever.
Well, and that's the thing, because like if you go out to eat, right?
Right.
You and I go out for a bite and we leave a tip on the card, which is more common now. A lot of places don't process for 24 hours,
a couple of days,
48 hours. I have one restaurant that's up to 72 hours now where they haven't processed the tip. And you know what happens is once they go through and process that, you're going to get hit with it. And if you don't have that money in your account, well, you're screwed.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, again, even for parents, because most kids today, they're on the iPad, they're on the phone, they're playing games on there. You still have systems, game systems and stuff like that, but a lot of kids are on this stuff. And a lot of the games they play and a lot of the add-ons, cost money. So if this is nothing else but a learning lesson.
Control.
There is a parental control. Again, I get their settings, and I get maybe you should familiarize yourself a little bit more with them. At the same time, I don't know where you're at that your credit card's getting run up $16K.
Well, that's my thing. You knew around 500 something. It's probably fraud. Well, first thing you should have done if it was fraud on the bank's end was freeze that card. If you think it's fraud, the first thing that happens in a normal situation is they freeze the card. They issue you a new one. And what happens when you do that is unless it's linked directly, your Apple account is linked to your bank account, which not many people do, it's not going to allow you to charge anymore because now that card is frozen.
Right, and the other thing I think is, so mom had to put the credit card in at some point to get the kid the game, right? And I don't blame the little boy at all. He's a little kid. He doesn't know what's going on. But again, it had to be hundreds, if not 1,000 different charges of all the different things he bought. It wasn't like one charge for $16K. This was like over a 60-day period, 2-month period. So that means, at least to me, that you were never watching this kid, or when he was on the iPad, like you didn't come across, not one time did you see him hit something where he had to buy it. And and I know from my experience, when you buy something, either you have to put in your code or you got to scan your fingerprint or Face ID to then complete the purchase.
Well, you know what probably happened there is if they have their thumbprint or they have anything in there, that's how that happened. But still, here's the problem. There's other ways where you can set it so there's a separate code.
Right.
It's called a parental control. It's very easy to do. But again, going back to, you should have had your card frozen. You should have looked more into this. You can't just trust that the bank is going to do something because you don't know what they're doing on their end. They probably have 50 million better things to be doing and worrying about other than your $500 fraud charge. You have to keep on top of them. You have to do your investigation yourself too.
It seems to me odd on both ends, right? Like, I know at Christmas time when you're buying stuff for Christmas presents, you'll get alerts from different banks. Hey, did you mean to spend $400 here?
Yep.
So I just find it odd that the bank let $16,000 go through. You never saw the kid even once buying something on the iPad to get all these charges. And then you don't realize it for 60 days. Unless it's just a perfect storm of a lot of just weird things going on, I don't know.
I think in the end, this is the way it should go down, is it's going to be Apple and the credit card company deciding who's going to do something, because I partially want to blame the credit card company. And the reason I do is because that card should have been frozen at the $500 mark when we noticed that there was fraud. As soon as you said that F word, you should have frozen the card. That's what a normal situation, that's what would happen.
Right.
A lot of time, I had a fraud on my bank account, and they froze it before I even got in touch with them. They just did it as a precaution. They froze the card.
Oh, really?
Before I even, So there's no excuse on the bank's part. I do blame them on that because the card should have been frozen and we should have made her get another one. Now, if that did happen, because I didn't see that anywhere in the article.
And credit cards, let's be honest, credit card companies don't give a shit about you.
No, they want to make money. So you're exactly right. So that's why I'm blaming the credit card company, because like you said, they don't give a shit. If they did, they would have froze the card.
Right. And again, I don't blame the credit cards for not caring about you because they give you, it's kind of like free will. Like they give you the option, like you can use this card, but you're going to have to pay interest, which is fine. If you're an adult and you take that risk and you know the deal before you get into it.
You do you, boo.
That's all good. At the same time, though, credit card, so if that lady's listening, a credit card debt is unsecured. So depending on the state that you're in, like, because they told her, we're not giving you a refund, and Apple said, we're not giving it back to you, and the credit card said, oh, well, it is what it is. You spent $16. So let's just
$16.
16,000.
Yeah, there's a couple zeros on there, buddy.
So here's the thing. If you look at it this way, so let's just say on one hand, you got to pay your mortgage, on the other hand, you got to pay your credit card. Don't worry about the credit card. Because it's unsecured debt, which basically means that they can't do anything.
Yeah, and you know what?
It'll ruin your credit for 5 to 7 years. But again, if it's buy food and feed your kid and pay your mortgage or pay the credit card's definitely the latter of the 2 or 3.
No, I think you can, if she really wants to, she can go and fight it a little bit, but I don't know how much. You may not get the full amount. You know, they may say, hey, we'll give you this, but that's it. You're not going to get the full thing.
That's crazy. Don't you think it's nuts that you're able to spend $16,000 on one game? I mean, I'd be interested. The article didn't say it, but I'd be interested to see if, like, the kid spent $16,000 on one game. Like, how many add-ons, how many rings could you buy?
And what did they cost?
Yeah, this is nuts.
I mean, listen, I play Mario Kart and, you know, a couple other games on my phone, but oh my God, I could not imagine. But especially if they're 50 cents to $1, $2, maybe $10.
Right.
But do the math. $16,000.
That's crazy.
I hope you beat the damn game. Because
he needs more. He's got to spend another couple thousand. He should be able to get through it.
Yeah, and you know what? And at the end of the article, I believe the kid says, "Mommy, I'll pay you back when I get a job or something like that." And I'm like,
yeah, poor kid. He's like, he doesn't have to worry about
he
doesn't have to worry about college tuition or anything. He's just worried about paying back his Sonic iPad game that he the dude can spend. I'll give him that.
You know what? An Apple. I am an Apple user. I love Apple products.
Yeah, Apple, get your shit together.
It does. It kind of upsets me a little bit.
Yeah, give the lady back her money.
Because I had an instance where when I was younger, I didn't understand, you know, when I was new to the whole, and they just started doing the cloud-based subscriptions and everything. I didn't understand how it all worked. And I didn't mean for it to renew. So, you know, they did give me the credit back. But this lady is out. That was $10.
Well, here's the thing: it's probably a lot easier to give you back $10 than it is to give you back $16,000.
Yeah, and they're not. The thing is sorry. I understand your kid didn't know what the hell they're doing, but that's not our problem. And while it does seem harsh, you got to remember at the end of the day, it is a business. But on the same token, I mean, Apple has enough money where they could, if they wanted to.
Oh, of course.
And so does the credit card company.
I mean, like you said earlier, to get it all back, I'm not sure.
Maybe something.
But you got to give her something back. I mean, you would think. I mean, because it might do more public damage to Apple to be like, you know, what they say in the article?
Tough. Well, what's going to be tough is when your sales go down because you have rioters outside.
They're really customer service driven, you could tell.
You know what? And I think it depends on who you get, too. Because we don't know if she is following the proper steps. We only know what this news article is telling us, too.
That's true. And it's the New York Post, so we got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. I mean, you really don't know. I know that I wouldn't have lived to tell the tale.
Now explain.
Because, well, number one, that's a lot of money. So my parents, I mean, not that they would have killed me. My parents are murderers.
Oh, you would have. It's an exclusive. His parents are murderers.
Yeah, no, they're not. I probably would have never heard the end of it. Like you said too, that is my dad has really good credit. I don't know if he has that much credit. That's a lot of credit.
That is a lot of credit.
And yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, something's off.
There's really I don't understand. I might have to download this game now because I don't understand.
There's not like a credit card up to it, and you should be all right.
Right. But what? How did you spend that much? Did you just keep buying them in like bulk or?
And again, like my experience with the App Store and the Apple Music is like, say I buy a song for $1.29. If I go back to repurchase it, it'll say you've already purchased this. Do you want to re-download it?
Well, I know some of the games have like power-ups.
Yeah, that's when he was doing power-ups.
Yeah, he was doing so that's called an in-app purchase.
Right.
That's what they define as an in-app purchase. So he probably went in and say he loses the level 30 times. And some of them you have to wait 24 hours to retry, or you got to wait this. You can bypass it by paying X amount.
Right.
Or getting this coin or getting that coin. You can buy these coins, which to me is stupid because then you're not really playing the game.
Yeah, the whole thing is, I mean, it's odd. I mean, poor lady, poor kid. Apple doesn't give a shit.
Credit card company definitely doesn't give a shit.
Credit card's like, well, let's see, $16,000 with 22% interest. Ooh, this is good for us.
Happy birthday. Hey, kid, want some candy? You can probably buy a pack of bubble gum.
Now, like, for you personally, do you like play games on the iPad? Do you do this powering up, or like
No.
see for me, I'm more like I'm still buy the system, play the games, and that's when I do play video games. That's about the extent I go to.
You know, we were playing like Hillary and her sister and I will play Mario Kart on our phones.
Right.
Sit there and play the app. Now this was before Christmas. We now they both have the Nintendo Switch.
I've been looking for one, but go ahead.
And it's really, I will say, I was hesitant on it. They are really nice. You can play it by yourself. The controllers come off, so you can do, like for Mario Kart, for example, you can do multiplayer.
Right.
And you can use the little screen that's in front of you. It's like a little tablet screen. Or you can connect it to the TV, too, through an HDMI cord if you want.
That is cool. And here's another, like, I guess it's a pro tip. So we think $400 for a system, even $550 for the new PS5, unless you're getting ripped off on Facebook Marketplace.
$2,000.
So that technically just buying a system and the controllers and the games for anywhere from like $400 to like $600-700 would be a steal compared to what this lady and her kid had to go through with leveling up and coins and rings and everything through the Apple Store.
Well, but here's the only problem. The Nintendo Switch. I don't know about PS4 because I don't play with PlayStation as much as I used to. But I know that Xbox, you can do digital download. And that's where you start getting into trouble. Once you connect that device to the internet, this is where the trouble is going to start coming in. Because then, I need the credit card hookup to download this digitally. Because, let's face it, there's going to, for the first couple months, you might be like, all right, I'll go out and get the gift card. And then the parents are going to go, screw this. I'll put my credit card in.
Right.
And now, this is where the $16,000 rack up is going to come.
Yeah, this is something that's tough, too, because, even when you do have the home systems or the phone or the iPad, whatever, like you said, everything is either buy the games digitally or there's like exclusives that you get through digital content or any stuff like that. So
because they want these type of things to happen.
Right. So at some point and it's a lot easier to, buy it digitally because the other thing, it doesn't hurt as much. Like the thing is, like, if you're putting out cash, like if you're putting those Benjamins on the table and like you're physically doing it, it's a lot harder to part with, Ben Franklin and George Washington and Thomas Jefferson
than it is to hit pay now.
Yeah. And then it just bills you later. So, I mean, it's good for the businesses because it's a lot easier. I feel like they'll make a quicker buying decision because it doesn't really hurt, right? You don't see it.
Oh, you do. You just look at your statement at the end of the month and you go, where the hell did that money go?
And the tough thing is that most of the time they're teenagers or young kids that are on the systems and it's not their credit card. And then they're going to either make a mistake or buy it or think, oh, it worked, it's free. And then the parents go and check the card. Now, this is obviously an extreme case where the kid ran it up to $16K, but it's got to happen all the time where it's $20, $100, $50. The parents are like, but again, it also goes back to you got to watch your kids too, or got to have some sort of supervision.
Like, I hate to, because I feel bad for the lady, but I do have to put some blame on her. Because where the hell are you, like you said? How did you let this happen? Why didn't you keep on top of the credit card company?
Right.
Why didn't you investigate yourself? You know what I mean? It's your money. It's your money at the end of the day. And now, guess what? I hate to say it. Your kid's not the one that's screwed. Your husband's not the one that's screwed. You are.
Yeah, or husband too, because
if it's a joint, he's screwed too.
Yeah.
Or that whole paycheck's going to go to it.
Yeah, he better be making some.
No wonder I work so hard.
$16,000 for Sonic the Hedgehog.
I didn't think he was worth all that. I mean, would you... I don't agree with the whole power up and buy. I think it defeats the purpose of the game.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I mean, I remember... I'm a little bit older than you, but I remember years ago we would go into like the toy store or the... or like GameStop, and we would get the actual like the cheat book. But like when we had it, like the cheat would be like now I feel like it's a little bit more complex. Like we would have like X triangle XX R2 L1, and that one like unlocks something cool. You'd be like, oh shit, we're in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like
gangsta.
Or then like you would go to school, and then you would have one kid that had like the real expensive cheat book, right? Like his parent, like maybe he got it for Christmas.
$5, I'll give you the code.
And it's like, man, like what do I got to do to get like I can't get past level like 32. And then you put that like R2, XX, 0, circle, triangle, and like, oh man, shit, that worked. Like,
damn, you didn't hit L1.
yeah, that was always kind of like the cool thing about the cheat books and stuff.
It's definitely not what it used to be. Like I used to play, what's the game? I know Dig Dug. I used to love that one, and it was they usually were all in. So it was Pac-Man, Dig Dug, the one where you shoot and it goes pew pew.
Oh yeah,
you know I forget what the hell it's called, but
for what system was that?
Well, they had Game Boy. I know PlayStation had it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and the arcade, of course, the old school arcade games used to have it.
They're coming back now too.
Which you know what? People buy them.
I don't know. I've always liked the arcade.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like people are like, oh, you can play it at home. I get it, but there was just something cool about going to the arcade and just playing like the arcade game there. You know what I mean? Like jumping from, and I'm talking like the old school, like pinball, Pac-Man, like
good old game of skee ball.
Yeah, I mean that's why honestly, even like Dave and Buster's and stuff is still super popular.
They are. You know what? I think that these old school video games, it gives these kids some, hey, this is how it used to be. You don't know about Friday nights going to the arcade, going to the bowling alley. In my case, going to the skating rink where then I worked for 5 years. You know what?
Yeah, I think
they don't do it anymore. Now they just want to sit around and get in each other's pants and who knows.
Whoa, wait, what happened here?
But these kids are boring. This is what they do. They sit around and they underage drink and they think going to a woods party and burning down the place.
I think again, Dave and Buster's is still cool. A lot of old school kind of like niche, like vintage arcades are popping up, which is cool. The thing that I kind of don't like, and I get it, but I don't like it about Dave and Buster's is they have the card you can swipe.
Yeah.
But I do still like the quarter or the coin, machines.
Yeah, you know what? I think,
and the tickets, even though like you win like 20,000 tickets, and then you get like a thing of Gushers. Now
I will vouch for the whole ticket thing, and the tokens. I hate to be this person, but after working at the skating centers where these arcade games, by the way, nothing was more annoying than a kid coming up and it didn't give me 5 tickets. That was probably the worst, dude. I have bigger problems. The mascot's head just fell off in the middle of a birthday parade. You want to bitch about 5 tickets?
Yeah, I mean,
they are a pain in the ass to refill when you're busy. So this digital way does make it a lot easier.
Oh, I get that.
For customer satisfaction.
Oh yeah,
because when I tell you, when these tickets would get jammed, it was a bitch. You had to sometimes take the whole thing apart. And this can take 10 to 20 minutes, and now the birthday party's over, and little Johnny didn't get his prize because he didn't get to finish playing. And then you have to make the decision as the manager, do I let them keep playing and the staff don't get to clean, and now the next parties are running behind? Or do I be a douchebag and say, well, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah, from like the work side of it, it's got to suck, but... To me, I remember like how satisfying it was to put the ticket in the ticket counter.
Oh no! See, we didn't have a ticket counter. It was
that place sucks.
Yeah. You think it sucks?
Uh-huh.
Do you? Do you really?
That's right, Phil. It
yeah,
does.
Phil. Tell him.
Yeah, if your place didn't have a ticket counter, what kind of half-ass operation was that?
No, they just wanted to make us work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all there was to it. Like the length of the counter. I remember now these kids, they meant well. They thought they were helping, but this one time they saved for probably 2 months. They saved up their tickets.
That's cute.
They wanted something that was like $10. Each ticket's worth a penny. Do the math, So you have to count them. Like I said, each strip of the counter was 10.
Right.
They ripped them individual. So normally what I would do is I would just take the big line of tickets and I'd rip them, in the strips of 10 because you could eyeball it. And yeah, these kids ripped them individually and I thought I was about to cry. I was like, oh my God. This took me about an hour. I was standing there counting these tickets because then someone would move their arm and the tickets would blow and I'm like...
It's a mess. So basically today we learned that if you're going to have little kids on your iPad that have access to your credit card, on your your phone, your tablet, whatever you got going on, your Xbox, your PlayStation. Make sure you put those parental controls to use, or you make sure you monitor the kids because they could run your credit card up like $16,000.
Hey, let's have a little competition here. Who could rack it up to 20?
That's crazy. Well, you can't do it because your parents will kill you.
Yeah, I wasn't volunteering.
Yeah.
Wasn't volunteering. My brother, though, maybe I can talk him into it.
Yeah, maybe he'll do it.
Maybe he'll be the jackass, and next thing I'll know, we'll be moving to some deserted island, and that's where we'll die.
Well, there you go. That ends it. Don't spend money on mama's credit card.
Don't do it.
I'm Phil Rossi alongside JJ Golick. Another episode of Anything Goes is in the books. Peace.
Bye.
This is Anything Goes with Phil Rossi and JJ Golick.